And speaking of Jacob Cornejo, we now welcome in to our press box as he is our player of tonight's game here on the Cumberland Sports Network. Did it all, especially on the ground. Jacob, you go 21 carries, 105 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Let's talk about just first. I know you all kind of always point to that offensive line. Explain the job that they did up front tonight to allow you all as a team to run for 382 yards.
As a unit, as a unit for practice, we're always preaching that we need to be technically sound, especially on the ground, and we need to insert our dominance as soon as we get into the gameplay. And my offensive line, like always, they're always there to have my back, so I have them.
For you guys to come out and establish it from the get-go, go down, score on the opening drive, and really just every time it seemed like you had the ball on offense, you did some really good things with it. How were you all able to kind of capture some momentum early and ride it through the finish line where y'all put 55 points on the scoreboard tonight?
I mean, we just kept our heads in it, and we just all kept just coming to the sideline, fixing what we had to fix, and we just kept pumping each other up. And our coaches obviously came in, and they was telling us what we need to do and what we don't need to do, and that came into a big factor of this game.
How fun is it from your perspective, and we talked over the summer during your fall camp and everything, for you guys to get out here and for the group that you have on offense, yourself, for Rod, for Lamar, for Jalen, for Zach, all those guys finding the end zone tonight. I feel like there's some people that think, man, there's opportunities for maybe more for one individual, but do you really kind of celebrate and enjoy the aspect of everybody getting involved?
Yes, sir. I love everybody getting their touches, and I love everybody getting into the end zone. This is a team sport. This is not just a one-person sport and not a one-person scoring all the touchdowns, and I love everybody getting into the end zone, and so does our team, and we celebrate it together as always.
Now, I know you love getting in the end zone yourself, and my partner Bob Lee made mention tonight. You scored down there near the in the red zone, and it opened up, like we mentioned, the offensive line playing really, really well tonight. He almost jokingly said you were going to have to go out of your way to hit somebody. Did you think about trying to go find somebody?
I mean, I thought about it for a second, and then I was like, oh, well, Coach Henry's about to get on to me, so I better get in here and just avoid it. Just avoid it.
That's what you did, and it certainly paid off for you. 55-7 the win here this evening. Congratulations on a great performance. And now, what's kind of the mindset here where you all don't play back at Noakes Lassiter Field until October 25th? You've got 4 straight road games. What is that like as a player, just knowing that you're going to be kind of on the bus here for a little while and going to see some different stadiums around?
Well, it's time to practice. It's time to prepare to go away from home and walk in your trap, take over your trap.
I like it. Congrats on the win, and congrats on a great night.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, that is Jacob Cornejo with us here on the Sallis Realty Group postgame show. Today's postgame show is brought to you by Sallis Realty Group, proudly serving Middle Tennessee. Sallis Realty Group is led by Kenny Sallis, a former Cumberland football player who knows what it means to be a part of the Phoenix family. Whether you're buying or selling, trust Sallis Realty Group to help you find your home. Thanks to Kenny Sallis and the Sallis Realty Group for sponsoring our postgame coverage. And we continue on with head coach Tim Mathis. Coach, Bob and I were joking a moment ago that we knew you were going to really appreciate some of these numbers. 550 yards of total offense, 382 on the ground. But I think maybe surprisingly, one of the things that you may appreciate the most tonight, just 5 penalties, 42 yards, a lot cleaner than it was last Saturday.
That's the first thing I looked at when I was looking at your stats right there were the penalties. And I'm still not happy with 5 of them, but it was heck of a lot better than 12 penalties.
Pretty clean game overall, like I was talking there with Jacob, the way that you just efficiently on offense move it up and down the field. You average almost 7.5, or actually more than 7.5 yards per snap. Let's talk about the group that you work with daily, that offensive line. Those guys really, and we touched on it pregame, looking at some numbers size-wise. You had a little bit of an advantage up there this evening, and it seems like they really were able to take advantage throughout tonight's game.
Right, and that's what needs to happen. When we have the advantage, we need to dominate the line of scrimmage, and we did. And I'm proud of that more than anything about yardage or whatever. It's just, if we're able to dominate it, we need to dominate it. And this was a game that we really dominated up front, and I was real pleased that, we played 9 or 10 offensive linemen too. So I got some guys in there that got some valuable reps that's going to help us later on.
3 games into this, I thought tonight was for sure one of the nights that it really stood out of this 2-quarterback system that you're using. Zach Holtzclaw, Jalen Abston definitely have different dynamics in their own games, and we saw the benefits of both of those throughout tonight's matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's they both do, something a little better than the other, but they both can do both things, which is good. So you can't just play one or the other. I want them to. we should have had a couple more shots that we scored on. We got to complete those easy open shots that were downfield. But I'm really pleased with how they played. We didn't turn the ball over at all, which is a great. And I think what they did really well was they managed the game really well, and that's the most important thing, is just managing the game and making the plays that we needed to make. And I was excited we got a long, a shot pass. We finally hit Jarius on 1-2, because that's just a confidence builder for the quarterbacks, for the receivers, for the whole offense. Is you got to be able to hit those too when they're available. And I was glad that we finally hit one of those, and we missed 3 of them that should have been 3 more. But, I'm just tickled to death that we did what we needed to do tonight. This was, for us, a statement game for the NAIA. When we're playing non-conference opponents, it matters when you're playing out of conference what it looks like. And, we've got a match. Some of our guys in our conference are doing a heck of a job against some non-conference, and we got to match them.
Defensively for you all, you had a nice showing last week against Reinhardt, hold that group to 18 points, and you had some similarities tonight. The turnovers, you got multiple, you end up with 4 sacks again. It seems like we're seeing the Patrick Miller dynamic of the chaos and the playmaking of that unit.
Yeah, and they're just, really one of the things, and it is, he can bring chaos with it, but they're really good football players. We got some really good football players, and you got guys in there that just want to play. There's some, I won't say they're newer guys. They're old. You get guys in there that got an opportunity, and they made some plays because they want to show what they can do, which makes competitions the best coach you can have. And so those guys were pushing that. I was a little disappointed when they got the set, just because to me that one little drive, they kind of drove it down our throat, and I wasn't happy about that. But I don't think our defense was either. And so, they kind of stood back on their heels after that and said, we're not going to let that happen again. So I'm really proud of them.
You had 2 consecutive home games, and as I just talked with Jacob about, you go on the road now you won't be back here for 6 weeks. October 25th will be the next time you're here at Noakes Lassiter Field. I think, from a player perspective, it's more, I guess, get on the bus and go where you're taken. But for your staff and everything, you got quite a bit of work over the next 4 road games, not just on the field and your opponents, but the logistics too.
Yeah, the logistics of it are the nightmare part about it. And just to be honest with you, just being away from this home crowd, it's just a tremendous crowd. They pull us through everything. It's just a great fan base that we have. So, but this is going to show what kind of football team we are, to go play 4 games on the road, and you got a bye week in there, kind of sprinkled in there too. So that makes it a little tough. But, probably when we come back, the grass will be brown. So, but, that's the schedule we have, so we got to deal with it, and we just got to make the best of it.
The first of those 4 road games starts next Saturday. It's a night game in Pikeville, Kentucky. Bears program you're quite familiar with as well too, and it always seems like y'all have some pretty good matchups when you get together.
Yeah, they're a good football team. Coach Phipps is a really good coach. He does a great job with the offense, and our defense, they're going to have to play better than they have any game we've played yet for us to have a chance to stop them scoring points. And so, it's going to be a great challenge on the road. But